Welcome to One More Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some supposedly equestrian era character. Jiang is today's character. Jiang is border. And since we're already in equestrian age, which main feature is the conquerors can go out conquering on horses. So their domain, their reign is going to expand on their border. So border, this becomes a like conceptualized by the civilization by then because the ruler of a land, either they have to be in defense or offense, right? So everybody's border awareness has become stronger. How Chinese express that border. We have the left side. This part is our bow and arrow bow. Okay, the left side, there's two horizontal lines with one vertical line, and the second horizontal line have to touch the tip of this vertical line. That's soil symbol. And we have soil plus a bow. What does that mean? Okay, this is a new learning for me. It turns out that in ancient times, like in English, we have foot as a measurement of distance, and we have so and so many feet, and then mile. So I'm not sure, like in English, mile. So I didn't do etymology of like what mile, where that comes from. But this bow plus soil symbol is kind of equivalent to mile because we have a shorter distance measurement that actually use our forearm or something, um, or like a tiny little bit use this pulse reading 1 inch thing. So we do use our body parts as a distance measure, but humans are only so tall. Like I guess ancient people probably 5 feet. So their either step size or their body part won't be so much helpful when it comes to longer distance measurement. So the solution would be the distance of how much an arrow, a bow, can travel. So if you shoot a bow, shoot an arrow, it fly across, and it will be way longer distance than you measure by human yardstick, right? So now you measure by human device, the longest distance projectile, use that as a measurement. So that alone on the left side give you this larger scale measurement. Now, the right side is tell you what exactly that is about. So we have this kind of a squashed circle with a cross inside. That's a Chinese lotting. So Chinese as an agrarian society would distribute land among households, families. So this is the initial, like a quadrant, this land already give a sense of we cut the land up into smaller area. So each family as a unit of economy would operate on this, a lot for you. And then we have this two of them, and then we have this big horizontal lines cut across. That gives you a sense of, you can regard this as pieced together allotted land. It's different households already. So that's a unit of, you can regard it as a community or township. However, you want to group them. And then we have this borderline, this versus that. This cut straight lines across this is almost like today's in traffic symbol on the middle of the lane, like that's uncrossable, solid line lane. So this is expressing this is a bigger cut among different communities, and that community is like a regime unit. So together, this longer distance measurement plus the land between communities in today's lingo, but okay, the ownership of that land in the past is always the ruler. It's not the individual household, even if there are allotted lands. Well, I don't exactly know the ownership of the land back then. Is it household and then build up to the nation. But we do know that at least in the long dynasties through Chinese history, the whole land ownership supposed to be owned by just one ruler everywhere. So this would be the marker of the regime or the empire. And between empires, there's uncrossable lines of long distance measurement. And that's a Chinese very visual, concrete description of what border is. So now a few interesting expressions. 新疆, new border. So, or you call it new frontier in Chinese. Actually, the Uyghur region that's so much in the news in the West because when I was in China, it was not really something in the public discussion, not in our what's it called the dialogue about what was happening in Xinjiang. Xinjiang is this later incorporate a new piece of land to the Chinese central because it's a totally different culture, different source of people look different as well, and they have their own language. So it's almost like incorporate another country into Chinese map to make the chicken or rooster look of today. So that's how Chinese call Uyghur region as new frontier. Okay, 大江 big frontier is, if you know, DJI, abbreviated 大疆. This is the biggest drone manufacturer in China, in the world actually, and they claim to already take 75% share of drones. So that's a big brand name in Chinese, and interestingly, they call it a big frontier. That shows it's pretty ambitious as well. And because drones, right, you have to have this aerial view. So in that sense, it's probably even bigger than how far the arrow can travel to as a measurement of a distance. 大疆 is like an even grander view because there are drones hovering in the sky. Okay, 万寿无疆 is the default longevity, good wishing expression in Chinese. So, the longer you live, the higher status you kind of by default will gain in Chinese. So the older generations, kind of like a boomers in Chinese, and like ultra boomers, the longer live, that means below you, more branches out of younger generations. And then you're kind of the leader of the clan if you're the longest live. And then people would, all your offsprings are going to wish you every year if you make it through another year's mark. Will wish you 万寿无疆, and the Chinese express that like 10,000. So 10,000 is a Chinese concept close to infinity. That's in the old, slower, smaller scale societies consciousness. That's close to longevity. One, so it's 10,000. And the shou is lifespan. 无疆, no border. No border simply means no limit. You live to infinity. And that's the Chinese wish, like birthday, best wish to the longevity seniors in your clan. Okay, so 江, this is DJI's drone look. All right, thank you for your time. See you later today.